Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 2, ladies and gentlemen, of Red Pill, Blue Pill, Habibis. We are here to talk about the football. We are here to talk about the transfers. We're here to talk about what's happened over these last crazy 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen. We all know what happened in the Isak saga. We all know what happened in the Guehi saga. You get me? Nice guys finished last, as we have learned this summer. We're gonna be talking about you get me? Arsenal signing Hincapie. We're also gonna be discussing the fact that Egal went on television, told the whole world that Arsenal beat Liverpool and then they lost. We're also gonna be talking about Chelsea versus Fulham. So there's a lot for us to unpack today, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And joining me first and foremost, he won this week. You get me? In very crazy circumstances, but he won. Man like Jem is in the building. How doing, Jem? Jem, you're on mute. Come on, man. You've been doing this 4 years.
What a start. Thank you for having me here as always. Looking forward to the second episode, and yeah, lots to talk about. I think just across all angles, whether it's transfers or on the pitch. I think there's lots to get into today.
I agree. There's actually so many different topics today. I look forward to it, man. And of course, the biggest fraud in the multiverse, ladies and gentlemen, is here. The troublemaker of all troublemakers on the platform. Man, like Egal. How you doing, Egal, brother?
I'm chilling. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's well. It's been end of the drama, which was one of the craziest transfer windows of all time.
Yeah, it's been a little bit dramatic. I can't lie to you. This last 24 hours, gonna unpack everything. Big up to you guys. Martin will be joining us in a bit, and we'll be talking about Man City too, because let's not forget, there is this certain club that lost to Brighton as well this week. We ain't just going to bypass that stuff, you get me? Big up to Todd, who says, my son's first day of school in an Estevao top. Honestly, Todd, like, it's just, your whole role is to just trigger me. Like, your existence is just trigger me, Todd. I've realized this. You've never sent a super chat just going like, I love your work, Husam, blah, blah, nothing. It's just Estevao. You know, if I go through your chat history and I search Estevao, it's probably like 90% of your chats. I'm so tired of you, Todd. So tired of you. This is personal. This has got nothing to do with Estevao because he's a good player. It's just between me and you. You get me? It's beef, Todd. Cook the Gunners done. Show no mercy. Don't worry, we will. We will, Habibis. We will. And actually, speaking of, first of all, already 600 people in the building. Make sure guys are liking and subscribing. We haven't even started the show yet. We got 600 people locked in. So please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel right here, right now. And I actually think there's only one place to start. I don't usually like to start with my own football club. But this time we have to start with the Liverpool because of obvious reasons. Obviously, the whole like Isak thing, the whole Guehi thing. Isak, by the way, in a Liverpool shirt, incredible. He looks amazing. He looks like he's ready to put some work in, bro. Like even the way that he was just walking in that shirt, bro, like he commanded the room type shit, you know? Like I know he ain't gonna walk into Liverpool and be like, oh yeah, I'm happy to be here. Nah, the guy's like, I want to win every trophy. I'm like, hey, let's go, bro. Hey, big up Alexander Isak. But then, you know, we got the unfortunate news with Guehi. You get me? So but let me ask Jem first, because he's not as emotionally invested into Liverpool as Egal has been over the last year. So I'll ask him first, and then we'll go to Egal and we'll unpack everything. So talk to me, Jem. What do you think of the this last 24 hours with Isak and Guehi?
It's like a WWE entrance, isn't it, with Isak? Do you know what I mean? Like last minute SmackDown. Do you know what I mean? Coming through the door, John Cena music. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, honestly, great signing. Me and you said this, I think last week, that it will get done. And a certain Newcastle fan, not on this show, was telling us that it won't happen because they won't let him go, even if he, you know, even at 120 or 130 million, he will he will stay and this and the other. I even think Egal was a part of this as well, actually, if I'm right in saying. Was you not there saying the same things, Egal? But anyway, listen, they got Nick. They signed Wissa, which I thought, by the way, I don't know if you agree with me, 1 year left on his contract. 55 million for Wissa is ridiculous. Like,
they got absolutely shafted, by the way.
Yeah, what are they doing there? I don't understand. I think Newcastle have had an absolute stinker in this window from start to finish. Let's just clarify that. But in terms of Liverpool, I think you've broken the record, not only the record in the Premier League for a signing, he's also broke the record on the amount of sales made in one season as well. And Chelsea, on the other hand, on outgoings. Over 300, I think nearly 300,000 in outgoings. Again, another record broken. But listen, there's no doubt that Isak's going to improve you guys. I think he's the perfect in terms of the style of player he is. Ekatike, who obviously we're going to talk about the game in a bit, I think he's another one that again, I think's going to perform very well. But Isak's announcement to Liverpool was literally smackdown, and it was going to happen. I had the feeling it was going to happen eventually. And listen, you guys have got no excuses now. There's no talking about but this, but that, this, whatever. This is just strictly, and I know what Husam's like, because he won't just make shit up. He knows that the responsibility is now tenfold. Now his club has had the window that it's had. There's no excuses. They have to win. So we'll see.
The thing is with me, you know me, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I don't make excuses. I don't care about the fact we didn't sign Guehi. We're still going to win the league. It's the reality, bro. Like, I'll be honest, if I'm in Egal's place, I give up already because of the football, which I will speak about in a bit. But the whole Guehi situation, I'm so irritated because you want to know something, Jem? I think you're like, I know Egal will disagree already, but I'm going to be honest. This shows you that actually the way Isak behaved is right. That's why I'm pro player, because of the stuff that Isak did all that, right? And at the end of the day, he's a Liverpool player. Wissa did what he did, and he's a Newcastle player.
Yeah.
Gyokeres did what he did, and he's an Arsenal player. By the way, the report is the following. Yeah, watch this. The report is right now from a journalist who's actually like an actual serious journalist from The Guardian. Mark Guehi is extremely unhappy after being denied a move to Liverpool at the last minute yesterday and feels he behaved correctly by continuing to play before Palace pulled the plug on the deal. Understand that Guehi is planning to release a statement soon. So Guehi turned up to training, turned up to pre-season, represented Crystal Palace. As a matter of fact, represented Crystal Palace against Liverpool at Wembley and beat us. You get me? And he didn't get his move. So the guy like did everything the right way. And for all the people who are claiming Liverpool only made the bid towards the end, guys, let's not argue semantics. We made an informal bid a month before that was rejected, and then we made another informal bid like a week after that was rejected. But Liverpool did the respectful thing and did the whole, Crystal Palace, go on, get your replacement. But Crystal Palace failed to get a replacement. And here's the thing about Glasner. I'm gonna give you an honest, genuine answer with this whole Glasner thing. I get it. You want your captain to remain at the football club, so you can manage better, blah blah blah. We get it. Guehi is a very important piece of the Crystal Palace thing, right? Very important. Here's my issue though. Amarim gets sacked a month from now, and Manchester United offer Glasner the opportunity to manage Manchester United. Is Glasner gonna turn them down? Will Glasner care about Mark Guehi then when he goes and he manages Manchester United? No, he won't. So that's why for me, I feel the hypocrisy, this whole thing, where the manager is doing all this, and a month from now, when Amarim gets sacked and Glasner is leading the race to become a Man United manager, all of a sudden, oh wow, he wants to become the Man United manager, and he don't care about Mark Guehi then, So it's just, and I don't know if you guys actually saw the video that they had ready for Mark Guehi. He's actually quite sad. Just from a human perspective, forget who you support. It's actually quite sad watching that video and thinking that even after behaving correctly, doing things the right way, he was let down by an incompetent club. And I'll end on this before handing the mic over to Egal. Look, had Isak behaved the way that Guehi behaved, which is what the masses were talking about, Isak can still get his transfer to Liverpool, but he should be acting the right way. He should turn up to training. He should go to pre-season. He should go on the tour, blah, 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 blah. Isak would have still been at Newcastle, because Newcastle, as Jem pointed out, rightfully so, are even more incompetent than Crystal Palace are. Newcastle incompetence levels is next level, like next level incompetent. They're doing a friends and family project over there. Eddie Howe's nephew is the sporting director. Like, it's like, are you running a grocery store or are you running a football club, bro? Like, are you running a supermarket where the nephew is the sporting director? So I think if Isak didn't behave the way that he did, he wouldn't even be at Liverpool right now. I'm being dead serious. I'm actually genuinely being dead serious right now, because Guehi, and you want another example? Strand Larson. Strand Larson wanted to move to Newcastle, behaved the right way, played for Wolverhampton Wanderers, didn't kick up a fuss, didn't hand in a transfer request. Guess what? He's still at Wolves. He's probably going to get relegated this season. Nice guys finish last. This is the lesson from this summer. And look, the thing that's pissed me off this whole transfer window, I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's this new thing where buying clubs now have to wait for the selling club to get a replacement. Like, since when is this a thing? I never want it to be a thing ever again. Moving forward, we should go get the player, and I don't care about your replacement. Go sign your replacement whenever you want, Habibi. It's not my business.
No,
Anyway.
it's your fault. It's partially
Why?
your fault. You waited so late to make the move and actually meet their targets and meet their objective. Now, Crystal Palace have all the right in the world to say we have to wait until we get a replacement this late in the window. If you were to have done this around the Club World Cup time or even a month ago, it gives them more than a month to get things sorted. Part of the reason why the deal fell through is because Liverpool also waited until the final day to actually show that they're serious about the deal.
You know, Egal, I know you were going to say this, so I came prepared.
Okay,
Liverpool submitted 3 bids for Crystal Palace captain Mark Guehi during the summer 2025 transfer window. 2 initial bids were rejected by Crystal Palace, and a third bid of 35 million was accepted, but ultimately collapsed due to Palace's inability to secure a replacement defender.
accepted? When was the 35 million pound bid accepted?
Yes, but here's the thing you need to understand.
No, the
Crystal
other two
Palace
doesn't mean shit.
No, I'll tell you why it means something. Okay, but let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me tell you why it means something.
You're already wrong.
Okay, I'll tell you why it means something. If Liverpool bid for Mark Guehi and it gets rejected, Crystal Palace know that Liverpool want Mark Guehi. They should go sign a replacement then and there.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about the other side of things? Why are Crystal Palace waiting for deadline day to sign a replacement?
Husam, you bid the 35 million the night before transfer deadline day.
Wrong. We bid it 3 days before.
At that point, they're scrambling to go get another player in.
Bro, we bid it 3 days before.
Now, that is a bit on them, though, Egal. That is a bit on them as well.
No, there's 2 different things. They gave Newcastle more than a month to go get a replacement, and you've seen how difficult it was for them to get a replacement. As for the whole situation with Mark Guehi, they didn't officially trigger the fee until the final day. Now, I don't know if they told them, "Oh, we're going to trigger on the final day. Get your shit sorted." But from the perspective of what we're seeing, it looks like they finally showed that they're willing to pay the money, and then boom, the player ends up happening to go to do his medical, and the deal falls through, and now they're screwed. So they decided, are we going to sell him? Are we going to keep him? The manager was the one who basically decided if this deal is going to actually go through at the end of the day. And they're well within their right to say, you know what, we didn't end up getting our player. We're going to keep our player. And Liverpool will probably still get.
You're building an argument based on something wrong, though. Because the Guehi bid. Okay, can I prove it to you?
There's no right or wrong here.
Let me prove it to you completely logically. Can I prove to you completely logically that the bid that was accepted wasn't on the night before? Why, after the game, was Dean Henderson pushing Mark Guehi to go clap off the Crystal Palace fans, since the bid was only accepted on the night before? You see why you're doing semantics right now?
No, because everybody knew Liverpool wanted him.
Yeah, but can I just say something? With transfers, there's always like a agreement behind the scenes to what goes on with a player, right? Liverpool might have held off because they're waiting for Palace to sort out their replacement. And guess what? Palace's replacement fell through. Didn't stop Liverpool from still going in because that's what they said they were going to do. So we don't know like Egal's right, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But at the same time, there's probably that sort of agreement. Do you know what I mean? They don't just obviously sit there waiting Liverpool for no reason without actually trying to do things a little bit respectful. And it's about building relationships these days as well. We're one club that does it quite a lot, where we just like want to do things in the correct manner as well. It's quite important. So it's another thing to bear in mind.
And that's the reason why Guehi refused to sign a new contract as well.
I heard from what I was hearing, Liverpool also are looking at Adam Walton, and that's the player that they deem somebody that they want to bring in the future also. So you don't want to mess up your relationship with Palace. At the same time, you could have dealt with this. You could have dealt with this different also. Now everyone's
But
gonna
we
blame
did. I
Palace.
just showed you proof.
1 second, Husam. You're giving the Liverpool side. You're giving your You're
I'm
giving your
not.
side of
I'm
the
really
story.
not. I'm not talking
No,
about the
you
Liverpool side
are.
of things.
Husam, you don't realize it.
So why is Guehi frustrated then?
It could be
If
The
it's
reason
both
why
just Liverpool
the
side.
reason why Guehi's frustrated is the same reason
Yeah.
why Liverpool fans are frustrated. But at the same time, we're not looking at if he was to go to Palace, if he was to leave Palace and they wouldn't have had a replacement, then Palace would have been frustrated. In this situation, two parties are frustrated. But at the end of the day, Liverpool, they're the purchasing team. They could have got this deal done earlier, meet the valuation earlier, and it would have given Palace more time to get the deal sorted. As for Guehi, you can say a precedent has been set, but that has nothing to do with the fact that the deal fell through. The deal fell through out of his control. A player decided to go from saying, I'm going to go to Crystal Palace to saying, I'm going to go to West Ham out of nowhere. Is that Guehi's fault? No. Is that Liverpool's
No, but
fault?
that's Glasner's fault.
That really is a collective. That's really just between Liverpool and Palace giving each other enough time and heads up to go get something sorted.
Why don't Palace have backup?
I'm not gonna blame Guehi for being a professional and saying that's why you didn't get the move. I really do think.
Yeah, but if he kicked up a fuss, would he be a Liverpool player?
I really do think the reason why
if he kicked up a fuss, would he be a Liverpool player? Be honest.
Guess what? The deal would not have happened if it's a final day of the window and the player was not in there to replace him. If you were to have given them 3 to 4 days or at least a couple more days to get a proper player in, then maybe. But the fact is, officially, all we know is Liverpool submitted the bid the night before the transfer deadline day.
Yes, but
that might have been the agreement.
And whatever happened behind the scenes, we have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
You're wrong about both
you've
things.
Submitted multiple bids.
The bid wasn't on the night before.
Husam, there's the Liverpool
it wasn't on the night before. So you're building an argument.
There's the Liverpool side of the story, and then there's the Palace side of the story.
I'm not mentioning the Liverpool side of the story. I'm not.
The Palace side of the story is Oliver Glasner.
Like objectively.
Oliver Glasner said, "I'm gonna quit." Basically, reported from some journalists. If this deal happens without a replacement, the club has a duty for their best interest. Liverpool, at this point,
the club wanted to sell Guehi. Glasner is the one that didn't want Guehi sold. Steve Parish wanted to sell. Wait, because you built a whole argument based on something wrong. First of all, the first bid was not a day before. The night of the night of the transfer window that you're talking about, 8 hours earlier, Crystal Palace played Aston Villa away and they won. All the Palace players were urging Mark Guehi to go to the and clap off the fans. So everyone knew that Crystal Palace are going to sell Mark Guehi. I already showed you the report. We made 2 bids that were rejected a month before. Now the problem is Crystal Palace did not go and get a replacement for Mark Guehi. The reason why Mark Guehi is a Crystal Palace player today is Crystal Palace incompetence. Glasner threatened to leave because they did not sign a replacement, but the owner, Steve Parish, this is public information, you can go Google it right now. Steve Parish said that a club like Crystal Palace cannot afford to just let go of 35 million. Like a club like them, PSR reasons, FFP reasons, need the money. So the owner wanted to sell, but the manager did not want to sell without a replacement. So the reason why he's a Crystal Palace player right now is Palace incompetence, not because Liverpool bid a night before. That's just the official. Wait. That's the formal bid. But Liverpool made informal bid, which is the same thing basically from months before. I mean, I've been working with you for a long time. How many times have I put Mark Guehi on a thumbnail? I can go back to videos like in June where I've been speaking about Mark Guehi. The issue, this is what's happened in the transfer window. Crystal Palace thought that they could convince Mark Guehi to stay. It failed. And then they realized with a month left into the transfer window that this guy actually won't sign a contract and he wants to leave. But because Crystal Palace are incompetent, they couldn't go get a replacement. And now Mark Guehi, after doing things the right way and being respectful and turning up to preseason and doing all the things that Isak didn't do, is now at Crystal Palace. And he's pissed off according to Palace reporters. Not according to me, not according to Liverpool reporters. Palace reporters are reporting that Mark Guehi has been let down by the club. if you want to believe Indy Kyla, who's been spot on this summer, he's been talking about how Mark Guehi was like visibly upset and he was literally like in tears with his family because this is a big thing for him, bro. Like he could be a Premier League champion, a Champions League winner. Like this is a big move that they ruined for him completely. So we have to like actually speak about the truth of the matter.
All right. First of all, they didn't ruin anything for him. He can still join Liverpool in January. Number one. Number two, yes, he's gonna have to now stay until January because the window's closed. At the end of the day, there's deadlines. Everybody involved knows about the deadlines. And if Liverpool wanted to really get this deal done, they could have done things to make sure the deal got done. At the end of the day, Liverpool also has a part to play in this. They waited until late to get everything and get the ball moving on everything. You wait till deadline day, things can always go wrong. As much as Palace is in the wrong for not getting a deal sorted for themselves to bring in a replacement, Liverpool also waited until the last day. Anything can go wrong. At that point, you're fighting against time. And the last thing you want to do is fight against time. You want to have as much time to get things sorted. And I think Liverpool left things till late. Your main priority was Alexander Isak. For the whole window, your main priority has been Alexander Isak. You didn't get Guehi over the line. Luckily for you guys, you didn't let Joe Gomez leave. And overall,
they got Leone anyway.
Overall, the player's upset. Crystal Palace manager is upset, and Liverpool's upset. Nobody's really coming out of this.
The Palace manager ain't upset because he got what he wanted.
Yeah,
no, but the Palace manager now has to deal with.
But he's a hypocrite. Do you agree? He's a hypocrite.
No. But he has to deal with. You guys are hypocrites. At the end of the day, everybody.
So if Man United want Glasner a month from now, you think he won't leave?
Everybody has a part to play. Everyone only cares about their own self-interest. At the end of the day, you don't give a shit about what Palace have to worry about. You only care about Liverpool. And if you did really want the player, go put the money down a month ago and shut everybody up. But guess what? You waited until late, and everybody has a part to play in this.
That's not
There's
how
not just
negotiating
one party. Everybody has a part to play in this. If two people are trying to get an agreement sorted, and for some reason the deal can't get sorted, you have to also look at yourself and say, what could I have done?
Wait, so gyokeres, so Sporting Lisbon owner wanted 100 million for gyokeres. You get me? So if gyokeres is now still at Sporting Lisbon because you didn't pay the 100 million, would you be sat here going like, oh, go pay the 100 million? Is that it? You just pay what the selling club wants?
At the end of the day, if you have a valuation for a player and the club is not going to budge and you really want that player, either you meet the valuation or you move on. Liverpool Football Club met the valuation late. They did not move on. They ended up suffering because everything fell down on the final day of the window. At the end of the day, you're not fully at fault, but you partially could have done something different to prevent this.
Yeah, the other thing that Guehi could have done, bearing in mind it was so late, if he really, really wanted Liverpool, just put a transfer request in. We've seen so many times that clubs play it out. They play it out, especially the club that's obviously buying, because they think that it's going to force Palace into just giving in and the player don't want to be here and he's going to go. Look at the Newcastle example. I know you guys ended up spending the money eventually, don't get me wrong, but it played out for so long. We've had the same problem, to be quite honest, going through these windows as well, So I think, I get what Egal's saying. I agree. I do think that you can be aggressive and show your intent and pay things, but clubs these days, they don't, when it comes to business, they don't work like, they don't operate like that. There's always
they did that with Florian Wirtz.
They all go in over high, and then
wrong. We had 3 bids rejected for.
No. But you went in for Florian Wirtz early. You went in for Florian Wirtz before the Club World Cup.
But we told Guehi that we want to sign him from the start of the window. That was
I know you told him you wanted to sign him from the start of the window, but you only told Palace you're willing to meet their valuation late in the window.
No, but by the way, this is why we're wrong. We didn't even meet their valuation because they wanted 40. We got 35.
You ended up paying 35.
So we didn't even get the valuation because it's just doing business. The problem is Palace sat there on their ass for the last 2 months and did nothing. Steve Parish has shown that he's actually a useless owner because he didn't get a replacement.
You're angry at him.
No, I'm not angry because Steve Parish wanted to. The problem is you don't know the ins and outs of the story. Steve Parish wanted to sell. Okay, yes, I do. Can I tell you why? Because this is public information. This is not me making stuff up. Parish himself said they can't afford to lose a player on a free. So the owner of Crystal Palace wanted to sell Mark Guehi. The manager of Crystal Palace then threatened to leave if they sell Mark Guehi without a replacement. So the reason why Guehi is currently at Crystal Palace is Crystal Palace's incompetence and incapabilities of signing a replacement for Mark Guehi. Had they signed a replacement from when they knew a month ago that Guehi wanted to leave, from after the Community Shield game, they went and signed a replacement, this wouldn't be a thing. And the reason why I'm calling out, wait. The reason why I'm calling out the hypocrisy of Glasner is the following. If Manchester United sack Amorim a month from now and they come in for Glasner is going to Manchester United immediately, and he does not give a shit about Guehi then and there. He's immediately going to Manchester United. Like that, he's going to Man United.
Number one, Glasner just turned down a job to go back to Germany to play for Leverkusen, which is a much bigger
Leverkusen is
team than
different
Crystal
than
Palace.
United.
Number two, let's give you guys the honest truth without the Liverpool spin. And this is what happened. The deal did not go through because of Crystal Palace not being able to get a replacement, which fell through on the final day, which they were willing to get a replacement in, and they even were still willing to try to do the transfer. The owner was willing to do the transfer. At that point, the owner and the manager got into a situation where the manager was going to quit, and they don't want to lose their greatest manager who just won them 2 trophies in the first trophies in their club's history, and also lose their captain in the same night as they lost one of their best attackers. You don't realize that the club would have gone into turmoil over one move. And to save the turmoil that they would have gone into, he basically said, you know what, the deal's off. The best case scenario for them, that is in their best interest. Unfortunately for you, you did not get the deal that you wanted. You could have got the deal if you maybe paid the money earlier. But when you save things for the last day of the window, there can always be complications. You did not plan for complications to happen. You thought everything was going to go your way. And unfortunately for you, Alexander Isak happened, everything else happened, but the one thing you wanted on top, the cherry on top, which was the defensive cover, did not happen because of unprecedented forecast events that you couldn't see happening.
They did sign Leone, though. We keep forgetting that. It's not like they haven't signed a centre-back.
A 19-year-old.
By the way, sorry for my tardiness. I was dealing with that personal matter. So
don't worry, Martin. Big up.
Just the one thing I will say is, Palace didn't just leave it to the last day to find a replacement. They got a bid accepted on the last day, I accept that. But they tried to buy a Kanji 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they were trying to work.
And they had a bid accepted for a Kanji. Kanji turned it down. So Palace weren't just leaving it to the last day. I think that's... Yeah, I understand it's fallen both sides, but it wasn't just a last-minute deal, Egal. Palace have been working for a long time to get a replacement. It just kept getting rejected. I know because Kanji was one who rejected them. So, yeah, I do think this... It is what it is. The trouble is, I blame more the selling club than the buying club, because the trouble is, if you've not got a good, you can have a list of buyers, but if people aren't willing to sell, it is what it is. There's no you can do.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we, this. I feel like this. I've come back completely full circle to all the debates I had with Mo and everyone about Isak, where I kept telling them, guys, Newcastle refused to sell without a replacement. You want to know something? You want to know the funniest part? Craig Hope came out and said, had Sesko just chosen Newcastle, Isak would have been a Liverpool player already. So that alone shows you that the timing is not the issue. Egal, I'm glad Martin spoke, because I didn't even know the Akanji thing. But the fact that Crystal Palace wanted Akanji 2 weeks ago shows you that this stuff has been in the works. That's the thing. That's what I'm telling you. Don't build an argument based on something false. We know Liverpool wanted Guehi for a long time. You get me? Should we have been more aggressive in our approach? Maybe we should have been more aggressive, but that doesn't change the facts of the matter, which is that they knew that Guehi wanted to be a Liverpool player from a long time ago. You get me? So that's the thing. They had enough time to buy a replacement and they didn't. And I'll be honest with you, after this summer, I think Liverpool Football Club should no longer wait. Jem is right. Everyone cares about the relationships now. So when Liverpool come to Crystal Palace next summer and we want Adam Wharton, all of a sudden, we're the
Can
first
you stop going
line.
after targets we want? Stop. You stop it.
But Chelsea won him as well. No worry, Chelsea won him as well.
Yeah, we wanted Wharton from time. But anyway, we're going to come...
So wait.
We're going to come in for Wharton, and then we're going to be like, at the beginning of the line, and Parish is gonna show us, VIP treatment, like, oh yeah, the priority is for Wharton to go to Liverpool. Like,
no, you're actually out of money now. You're out of money now. You're spent.
Yeah, mate, you're broke.
You can't get involved in the Wharton stuff no more. You're out of
now.
money.
I'll be honest, Jem. I apologize to all the Chelsea fans. You guys were right. Winning the transfer window is beautiful. I'll be honest with you. I lied. I lied completely. This is the rich life.
He's not flying planes anymore.
I never want to go
There's
back
no
to the broke
planes
life
coming
ever
out
again. I don't want to be broke ever again. This is the rich
Have
life.
you retired the plane?
You know something?
You
I
retired
never
the
want to
plane.
hear FSG out from your mouth ever again in my life.
Yeah.
You want to know
FSG
something?
rules.
You want to know what you remind me of, Egal? You remind me of the same people who come to a United fan after one Hoyland goal and go like, apologize. Bro, it's one transfer window. It's one transfer window. It doesn't wipe out the last 4 years.
Stop. They have
Here we go.
hired Klopp. You won everything. They hired Arne Slot. You won the Premier League in his first season. They gave you Florian Wirtz. They gave you Alexander Isak. They've just spent 400+ million
This transfer window,
in
correct.
one transfer window, and you still have the audacity to sit here and still talk about FSG. You have seen more silverware in the last 10 years than every other football club in English football besides Man City, and you still sit here and talk about FSG in a negative light. Honestly, it is embarrassing.
I'm not talking about FSG in a negative light. I'm saying one transfer window doesn't wipe off the last 4 years, which is
you want to know something? A transfer window like this, the greatest transfer window in Premier League football history, but maybe
it was going to be the greatest
Chelsea,
until
maybe arguably with Chelsea, and you're sitting here talking about your owners in a not trusting your owners, bro.
No,
if
I
you
never
still
said that.
question FSG, you don't know.
Egal, you're so angry. You're
Yeah,
so
so
angry.
I don't know why, because this guy is the guy that they wanted for the last 3 years.
Do you know Egal? I know how Egal's feeling. Egal's like, shit, we have a good team. City do well. When City drop off and they're like, right, we're going now. Liverpool come back. Egal's sat there going, I can't catch a break.
Instead of cooking me, actually listen to what I said though. Do you not agree? How is he?
Oh, Egal, it's banter. For God's sake, chill out. Hey, man, what is up with you?
I'm not gonna call out FSG this whole season because they did their job, but it doesn't wipe off what happened in the last 4 years. So me changing, I'm not a flip flop. So
what
me
did
changing.
you win in the last 4 years?
Can you relax? Me changing my opinion is gonna happen next summer. If we need even just like 2 players and we get them, that shows me that now they have ambition to win. And I've always been willing to change my opinion on the owners, no problem. Anyway,
in the last
big up to
4
all the
years,
super chatters. They're all saved. Wait,
Can
can I do the show properly, Gal? Because you literally have to go in an hour. We have so many different topics.
but we have to challenge you when the Liverpool spin happens. We have to challenge you. Unfortunately, the blue side is not going to challenge you, so I'm going to challenge you. Simple.
Okay, you can challenge me. I said I'm not going to call out FSG this season because they did everything that I expected and more this transfer window. So this season, if Liverpool do not win, it's not FSG's fault. It's Slot's fault, players' fault if we don't win. So I've already acknowledged that point.
I've already just said as well.
Yeah, I've already said that. In order for me to change my mind, though, from FSG out to FSG in, I need more than just one transfer window. Because let's say you're speaking about Wharton, right? Let's say Liverpool need Wharton and a left winger next summer, right? Let's just say that. And then we get the report, James Spears Bomba. Because Liverpool spent so much money last summer, they're not going to sign anyone. Then what? Then all the people who like flip-flop to FSG in are going to go like, this ownership has no ambition, blah, blah. So I'm just waiting, bro. That's it.
How about this? Arne Slot, as a manager, you won last transfer window. Forget about the players that you brought in. You didn't bring anybody. You won the league. The year before that, you won silverware when Klopp was leaving. The year before that, you won silverware again. The year before that, you were challenging for the league and Champions League.
The year before, we didn't win silverware.
You didn't win silverware, but you're challenging for the league and the Champions League.
No, we didn't. We finished 5th.
You went to the Champions League final, though, right?
No, we didn't. We finished 5th. You missed out on that year.
My mistake. And then a couple years before then, you win the Champions League. 4 years before that.
No, we didn't win the Champions League. You're getting the timeline all wrong. Listen, forget it.
My point is, you cannot criticize these.
I don't want to have an FSG conversation because I've already acknowledged this season I will not criticize them this season.
I'm not going to get the exact year right. I'm not an encyclopedia for Liverpool.
No, I'm saying what you want, I've already done. You say, don't call out FSG this season. I said, okay, I will not call out FSG out this season because they gave the manager everything he needed. So now what? So why are we trying to have an existential conversation when I've already agreed with you? I've already agreed. Yeah. So this season, if we don't win, it's on. Look, by the way, just so you know, guys, when I speak stuff, I don't chat shit. I know what I'm talking about. Another report just now. One source close to Guehi said he's considering whether to continue as Crystal Palace captain. Imagine. Like you see what I'm telling you stuff. I don't make shit up, bro. I know exactly how this stuff worked out. You get me? Anyway, before we move on to City and Chelsea, big up all the super chatters. Don't worry, they're all saved. I'm gonna come to them in a bit. First of all, guys, we have 1,500 people in here. We're not even at 500 likes yet. Have some shame. Have some shame. All of you, please close the live chat, hit the like button. Thank you for 59k. We're now 800 subs away from 60k. You get me? That's our next target. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because that's the only way we can get there with you guys' help. And remember, Egal Talks Football is in the description. Kings of the Bridge on playback is in the description. Just click the link. And the Mancunian Way is in the description. So please like and subscribe. So, Egal, I'm going to stay with you just on more football-related matters. The Liverpool-Arsenal game, now that you've calmed down 2 days after, you get me? Or I would assume, at least. You get me? Talking about the football, no more transfers. What do you make of the game now? 2 days.
I think Arne Slot broke down the game perfectly. He said this was a 0-0 game. If we played that 10 times out of 10, 8 times it would be a draw. 1 time Liverpool would win, 1 time Arsenal would win. And that 1 time was what happened on that day. You had Szoboszlai score a crazy free kick from 30-something yards away, and the rest of the game was back and forth, 2 teams nullifying their defenses, very solid defenses. The attacks were really neutralized, and that's pretty much it. I don't see what everyone's talking about where they're saying one team's trying to win, one team's trying to lose. But at the end of the day, I think both teams come out of that game with a draw. They would have been like, you know what, fair. But Liverpool got the win because of a moment of magic. And I think Szoboszlai doing the snap was fitting with what happened in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys saying?
Go ahead, guys.
I think that there was an element of terrorist football being played by Arsenal, again, away, personally. You've got gyokeres up front that you can't create for because you have Martinelli and Madueke who look at their feet when they run with the ball every time. So you've got a striker that's not getting any supply whatsoever, and that's why he had a bit of a stressful game. Arsenal's problem's not defensively. I knew Arsenal would do well defensively. Doesn't matter. Saliba drops down after a certain period of time, and then they bring in Mosquera, who, by the way, looks pretty good, Egal. You buy very good defenders, by the way, from what I'm seeing. They're good. My only problem with Arsenal still, and why I still question Arteta partly, it's just how you play, how you guys play the game. It's just very stagnated. You don't really play to your attacker's strengths, you know. It's very like solid from the back, and then you get to the midfield. You got Zubimendi, who's okay with the ball, can do these short passes here, there, and everywhere. But you don't really have someone that can really like be direct. And there were so many times where I watched Gyökeres in that game. He's pulled in because he knows Konate. It's going to be hard for him physically to deal with Konate and Van Dijk. So he's pulled in deep to then turn and spin round into the space because Liverpool are playing a high line, and he's not getting the ball. You know, and this is Arsenal's problem. They haven't got creators, and I know Odegaard's out, I know Saka's out as well, but you've not really got enough creativity when I watch Arsenal.
Had one on the bench, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, with Eze, and I do think Eze should have started personally. Maybe play him in the 10 in this type of game where you had Madueke on the right, Martinelli left, and Eze just functioning, doing the passes that we know he can do. But from Liverpool's side of things, I thought Liverpool played it quite well. I mean, there was some individual performances that were a bit meh. The overall game was a bit meh to watch from a mutual standpoint. It wasn't exciting, Everyone was a little bit scared to lose the ball.
But you know who made it that way? Be honest. Who made it that way? Let's be serious, Jeb. Come on.
You guys were coming out. You guys came out.
You guys were more cautious than us in the first half. What are you talking about?
However, so what Arsenal did was play on the attack, and even though you guys had 53%, they still had 47 in the game. So at the end of the day, I think it was a game of, like Egal said, it could have been 0-0 8-9 times out of 10. The Szoboszlai goal was a very, very good goal. I thought Mo Salah had a bit of a stinker. I'm not going to lie, I thought he was very quiet most of the game. But you know, fine margins, two teams that are up there trying to win the title. You can see the strengths of your teams. The only thing I question with Arsenal specifically, Egal, is just you guys going forward, and you've got a striker there that's not really someone that's going to do what Ekitike does, or Isak, who's going to come in and
what did Ekitike do?
Carry it, you know. So
what did Ekitike do that game?
He done a lot of work in and around dropping deep and helping them build play and carry the ball and try and get him behind. He done more than Gyokeres.
Oh, did he? He actually had what is it, like a couple more touches. Actually, he only had 2 passes, if I'm not mistaken, that was successful. If I'm not mistaken.
He wasn't as effective in front of goal, because I just explained to you, you guys were very solid at the back. I thought you guys.
It wasn't a striker's game. But it wasn't a striker's game, and Liverpool striker. Sorry, Jem. I was actually taking notes when you were speaking in case people were wondering what the hell I was doing, because I felt like you were covering a lot of different topics and I just needed to touch on this. You said Gyokeres was more effective than Vicky. You said Ekitike was more effective than Gyokeres in that game.
More involved.
That's actually not true, because Ekitike in the entirety of the game had 2 successful passes where Gyokeres himself created 2 chances. There's two completely different games. The thing is, because Ekitike plays at Liverpool and they won the game, his performance is viewed differently. Mo Salah and Ekitike both had worse performances than Gyokeres in the game. But Gyokeres is picked at because he's at Arsenal, because he kind of was isolated. He didn't really get as many opportunities.
That's the whole point. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Actual facts. The facts of the matter is.
But he didn't say it.
No. But
I didn't pick on Gyokeres either. I think you didn't.
But you pointed out Arsenal.
No, but you didn't create for Gyokeres, so it's not his fault.
I said. Like, your biggest problem.
But you just simply said right now, Ekitike was more effective.
So he's more involved, Egal.
Yeah, he was more involved.
He looked more involved in the game than Gyokeres. Well, he was. Eye test tells me with my own eyes, from what I watched of that game, that he was more involved in the game.
Eye test tells me that Gyokeres created 2 chances, one for Madueke and one for Timber, where Ekitike had 2 successful passes the whole game. What did he do? He didn't do anything. You know what it is? That is not eye test. That is precedent based on how people speak about the players. That is what it is. Everyone has set a level of like impression that they have of a player, and immediately coming out of the game, which was not a striker's game, by the way, this was a tactical battle where somebody had to get a goal.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And to say Arsenal were not direct, Liverpool were not direct either. So I don't know.
Can I tell you now?
I don't know where this. I don't know where this.
Let me tell you 2 days after why Liverpool deserves to win.
Can I finish? Because I was responding to what Jem was saying. Then the final thing you said, Arsenal have a creativity problem. Well, our creative player in Odegaard, one was injured, as they just joined, and Arteta made a selection problem. I think it was more of a selection. He made a mistake in his selections rather than his overall tactics. I thought the tactics were correct. I thought just the personnel was wrong. I would have had Odegaard and Eze in the team from the jump, and if something goes wrong, you can take them out. But I guess he didn't want to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just feel like the whole narrative around this game is one team tried to win, the other team didn't. Well, that's absolute BS, in my opinion.
Okay, can I tell you why it's not BS? Let me present you my argument. Let me present you my argument 2 days later. Now that you're a bit calmer, I would hope you get me. Here's the thing with the game. Look, first half, Arsenal were marginally better because Arsenal defensively nullified us completely. Liverpool wanted to attack, but we were incapable of attacking. There is a difference between someone being incapable of doing something versus not wanting to do something. We wanted to attack. We wanted to get on the front foot. We wanted to create chances. But Arsenal's defensive setup made it impossible for us to do that. And on top of that, Salah was absolutely crap. McAllister was absolutely crap. And everyone on the panel knows how much I love those 2 players specifically. But both of them had horrendous games. McAllister's passing was off. Salah's passing was off. They were just both absolutely crap. And every time we got into the final third in the first half, Salah misplaced the pass. McAllister misplaced the pass. Wirtz misplaced the pass. Ekitike misplaced the pass. Like, there was a moment even in the first half where we were counterattacking you, and Ekitike and Wirtz just ran into each other. Like, we completely just messed up everything. The second half, this is where I disagree with you. The reason why Liverpool deserve to win the game is because the second half now starts. We nullified each other in the first half, no problem. Second half starts. Liverpool immediately show intent of wanting to attack. The Curtis Jones substitution changed the game because Curtis Jones came on for McAllister, who had a dreadful game. Curtis Jones came on, started driving with the ball, got into the space between the Arsenal midfield and the Arsenal defense, and started to create something every time he got on the ball. Now, the second half, stats don't lie. From the 45th minute until Liverpool scored, Liverpool had 67% possession of the football. The reason why I said on the football terrace is that Liverpool would have scored anyway, regardless of the free kick, is because Liverpool were in the ascendancy, meaning Liverpool showed that they want to attack, that we created chances. I'll give you an example. The Wirtz half volley that Raya made a fantastic save for. Wirtz played 2 through passes to Salah, of which Salah had a horrendous first touch and could not do anything with the football. But Liverpool were in the ascendancy. When I say we're in the ascendancy, I'm basing it based off of the facts. Second half, Arsenal did not show attacking intent or attacking ambition at all in the second half, up until Liverpool scored. So that was my logic for saying that I think Liverpool would have won the game anyway, because we came out in the second half with the intent to attack. And it was tactical instructions from the manager, and it was the substitution by Curtis Jones. And I think, based off of data that we can go off based off the last 4 years, Arteta is the type of manager, and this is not an insult, this is just the type of manager that he is. Arteta is the type of manager to want to not lose over wanting to win. And it showed, because Arsenal were taking long set pieces from their own half with the scoreline at 0-0. That does not show me a manager that has attacking intent. Now, I understand Odegaard was injured. I understand that Eze is a new signing. But I did a preview with Troops, Redmond, and Dan Potts. Go see it after the stream if you think I'm lying. I said it would not shock me if Eze doesn't start. I get Odegaard is injured, no problem. Okay. Eze played 3 games for Crystal Palace. He's completely match fit. Why didn't Eze start? There's no excuse for that. And on top of that, as well, why not bring on Eze and Odegaard at halftime? Why wait? There's literally no reason to wait. You could have brought them both on at halftime and helped you change the game in a more positive fashion. So that's why, for me, I look at the performance in the second half by Liverpool until we scored, and I can actually conclude and deduce that Liverpool would have scored the goal because we were on the ascendancy and we were showing a lot more offensive prowess. That's it. That was my logic for the game. I never brought up anything about the first half or anything like that.
All right. Liverpool's second half performance, you had maybe 3 good chances. The whole game, you had 3 good chances.
Yeah.
That's it. So and even then, you were at home. We held the champions, the team that is the best attack in the league, and nullified them. Mo Salah, the best attacker last season, was nullified. Ekitike, who scored 3 goals in 3 games, nullified. So when it comes down to it, if it wasn't for that free kick, you weren't going to score. As much as you say you want to score, you're going to score. There's no evidence to say you're going to break us down, because you didn't do it for what was it, 70 minutes until that free kick.
I gave you the evidence.
No, what you're saying is your feelings. There's no actual evidence to say you were going to officially break us down.
How is 67% possession my feeling? How is the first chance my feeling?
You can have possession, but possession is not going to put the ball in the back of the net.
No, but that's not a feeling. You can't tell me I'm feeling something when I'm giving you a fact.
And I can give you a fact too. You only had 50 something XG the whole game. You had 3 shots on target the whole second half.
And all 3 of them came when second half.
When it comes to that game, you were not peppering our goal. Yes, you were in the ascendancy. Yes, you were gaining more dominance in the second half.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yes, you since the 60th minute onward, I would say Liverpool were starting to gain more control of the game. But even though you're gaining more control of the game, we in open play, you did not score. And I don't think you were going to score based on the fact that how solid we were defensively. What happened was Zubimendi gave away a silly foul and ended up costing us with that free kick that you scored in. And there was no evidence to state that you were going to get a goal from open play. You scored one goal that was offside, and even then it was from a David Raya error. It wasn't you.
Yeah, but then I gave you the evidence. You're ignoring the evidence. That's my problem.
What evidence?
I'm not going to say anything feeling. I'm not going to state a single feeling. I'm saying factually, from minute 45 until Liverpool scored, Liverpool had 67% possession. The 3 chances that you're talking about all happened in the second half. So that shows you just said yourself Liverpool were in the ascendancy. So you're talking about Liverpool were actively trying to score. Because Arsenal are an incredible club, I can't come here and go like Liverpool had 15 chances. Yeah, it's impossible because you're not Burnley. Obviously, you're very solid defensively. So we're never going to create 700 chances against you. But those 3 chances are 3 moments where we could have scored, which leads me to deduce that because we were on the ascendancy, because we were attacking, because we were getting in behind, that's the conclusion where I can say, okay, because we were doing that, had the scoreline been 0-0 after the free kick, Liverpool would have kept attacking and eventually broken the deadlock. That's it.
Okay. First of all, 2 of the shots were, one of them was a pop shot from Gakpo, the other one was Florian Wirtz, and the third one was the goal. So you really only had 2 shots in that whole second half. Yes, you had 56% possession, but you're at home. Do you expect us to have dominance over you in your own house? Also, we kept you at bay for the whole first half, and you were the ones that were actually playing reserved. You guys were the ones that were actually being like a little bit defensive, a little bit more cautious in that first half. And to say any otherwise is crazy because you really didn't come and attack us at all. You didn't touch our box for 30 minutes. So we were struggling attacking wise.
30 minutes when?
Can I just say something really quickly? There's a lot of talk about what Liverpool didn't do or did whatever. You had 1 shot in 90 minutes. Like why are you not even evaluating your own attacking?
1 shot on target, yeah. But we had more shots overall.
1 shot in the whole game, bro.
No, we had 1 shot on target.
What was it? I'm pretty sure
we had 11 shots.
We had more shots. Yeah, one. Sorry, yeah, 1 shot
in them. We had more shots in them. We had just only.
You wanted to list other stuff, but you couldn't.
What we do?
The reason why you had the XG is your set pieces, Egal. Me and you both know this.
What we're doing here?
Stop it.
I don't know.
Just open play XG and come back to me.
Bro, our biggest chance was
getting excited over. I had more shots than you. I had more corners.
No, because they're basically
I had more. This is crazy,
Martin. Because they're talking shit. That's why. And the only way you're gonna
sounds like amateur hour.
When you're speaking on a stream, are you gonna go and point at your eye test and say this happened, and memorize every single moment of the game?
I'm not talking about eye test. You keep blaming me of talking about eye test and feelings when I'm not. You agreed that Liverpool were in the ascendancy. You agreed that Liverpool in the second half. No, but you see now you said that we interrupt you. You see how you're interrupting because now you're speaking with your feelings. See, we can both play this game. I didn't say I think, I feel, I felt like. That's not what I'm saying. I'm giving you facts. 67% possession up until we scored. The Wirtz chance. The reason why the Salah chance was not a chance or a shot is because of his shit first touch. But it doesn't change the fact that Wirtz played him an incredible through ball. He then had a shit first touch, ran immediately into the Arsenal defender. So that doesn't change the fact that it was dangerous. So it was dangerous because Wirtz created the chance for him. Gakpo had that shot that was saved. Raya made a fantastic save from a Wirtz half volley. So I'm deducing it based off of the fact that, as you yourself have said, second half, Liverpool were in the ascendancy, meaning Liverpool were attacking. So, okay, let's say Raya saves that free kick. In the next 10 minutes, genuinely asking you right now, Egal, genuine question. In the next 10 minutes, based off of what you yourself said that Liverpool were in the ascendancy, who was more likely to score in the next 10 minutes? More likely, even though you think both teams wouldn't have, you think that, right? So, but who was more likely to score, genuinely?
Arsenal had the best chance with Eze when he tripped in front of goal.
You attacked because you were 1-0 down.
But I'm telling you, you said who had the best chance of scoring. In that moment in time, Arsenal had the best opportunity to score. But guess what? We didn't. And in open play, we actually generated more than you.
So you were the better team then, yeah? Is that what we're saying?
No,
is that
we were both underwhelming.
Okay, so what? I don't get the argument here. Like, I really don't get
the
it.
Argument is they were the better team.
What I'm saying is that the game was actually a poor game.
It was a shit game.
A lot of these top games are, and Liverpool won.
Liverpool
Martin,
won.
Tell us let's let Martin have the final say on the game.
Liverpool won. Husam is spinning it as in Liverpool were the only team trying to attack. No,
bro,
but that's what
the problem is you want to know the problem. You're doing the same thing that the other guy on the terrace did on Sunday. You're going like, Husam is speaking like this. You're accusing me of feelings, but you're acting based off of your feelings. Tell me, respond to what I said, not what I sound like. Liverpool were not amazing. I never claimed Liverpool were amazing once.
No, you claimed Liverpool were going to go on to score. There is no
Yes,
evidence.
because of the facts that I presented, not
There
because
is
of my
no
feeling.
evidence to state that if you didn't score that free kick, you were going to go on to score.
Okay, so this is my evidence. Okay, let me tell you the evidence. Evidence: 67% possession. The shots on target all came in the second half, and
Two.
the Curtis Jones substitution allowed us to now be like have the ball more because we didn't have the ball more than you in the first half, and the Vert's 3 passes that he made in dangerous positions, of which Salah messed up 2 of them, and the one that Gakpo had that you mentioned, the low-driven shot that Raya saved. So that's all evidence. That's not feeling.
Okay, Salah didn't mess it up. He got blocked. Both times he got blocked. That is the defender using their leg and defending. It's not, magically missing wide. He got his shot blocked. We were defending resolute defensively. Doesn't mean just because you had more time, you're going to score goals. Number 2, you're talking about Florian Wirtz getting more space, getting more time. Because, it's later in the game. We're pushing on. We're trying to get a goal. And when we bring on both Martin Odegaard and Eze, yes, you're being a little bit more defensive because you scored the goal, but there is no evidence to say either team were going to break the deadlock. It was that magical moment from Szoboszlai, and Husam, you are actually adding information that hasn't happened. I'm staying consistent with what actually happened in the game. It was 2 teams that nullified each other, and to sit here and say either team would have gone on to win the game is ridiculous.
Okay. Let's let Martin have the final word on Liverpool Arsenal, and then after that we'll do supers and move on.
I'm going to be. I didn't watch the game. I was still in Brighton at that point. I wish I'd have watched the game.
You actually travelled.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I was speaking to Jay. I don't know if you know Jay. He said
I was on the front row. I was front rowing it down at Brighton. I wish I hadn't. But anyway, we'll get on to that in a section. Yeah, I've only heard what people say. Egal, I'm going to be honest. You sound very nervous and emotional at the minute. You sound very. I don't know. You look like a man who knows the inevitable's coming. I don't know. You don't. And I think there is an air amongst everyone. I think everyone's just kind of gone. Liverpool are going to probably win the league. I think there is an air of inevitability about this whole league now. Because I'm not in the title race anymore. I'm out. I'm done.
Oh, wow.
So it's down to you only now. Maybe, Chelsea get involved in it at some stage. But to me, I think we get too much into this. Or the way we played. And no, because I used to do it. I used to get more excited about the way we played than the result. At the end of the day, the result's the one that matters. But Brian Clough, you said something, and I'm sorry for showing my age. You can have the ball for 89 minutes, all the shots. I score in the 90th minute, and I win 1-0, which stat shows at the end.
The goal.
That's what it is, well.
Just like the Rice 2 free kicks. You get me? This was an incredible free kick,
by the way.
It was a poor game overall between.
Unbelievable free kick, honestly.
But I can't comment on the full game because I've not watched it, so I don't want to be disingenuous in that fact.
That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, let me just grab these supers, and then after that, we're gonna move on, talk about City and Chelsea as well. So big up to all of you guys. Please do hit that. Yeah, hold that, Martin. Please do hit that like button. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. Every single one of you, please like and subscribe. This is an elite show. This is an elite addition to the world of YouTube. Red pill, blue pill. You get me? Great idea. Unbelievable panelists. Please go subscribe to a Mancunian Way. Go subscribe to Egal Talks Football, and go subscribe to it's on playback, but by the way, all you have to do is open the description and it'll take you there. I actually tried it on my phone as well. So it's just Kings of the Bridge on playback. Go over there and subscribe. So big up to all of you guys, man. What are your ambitions at LFC? Everything is what Isak said. Cold quote right there. Hey, big up, Alex. Go on, lads. Go on. Egal, what happened to Isak not leaving, lad, is what Terry Tibbs is saying. Hey, everyone was wrong about that, to be fair. You get me? But the rivals didn't believe us. They should have. Disasi was available for 50 million or even loan. They know Guehi will not renew. It's for Palace to sell him, not Liverpool to buy him, is what Tepelo's saying. And the funny part is he's probably going to go in January for like 10 M's, bro. Terry Tibbs, Egal, we bid August 10th per Joyce. Stop waffling. Yeah, that's why I told him it was 2 weeks before, like exactly the day that I said. It wasn't actually like just on the night of. Like that's the thing. So Stop lying, Egal. You're either naive or baiting. He's not naive and he's not baiting. He's going based off of like the information that we made the formal bid on the night of, but everyone knew he was leaving like a long time before that. And that's why Guehi's pissed off. LFC bid for Guehi and Crystal Palace rejected it. Liverpool bought another centre back. We all know, teams bid for a player and after rejection, they move on to a different target. Yeah, I agree with this. That's why they wanted Akanji as well. Big up to Martin for actually telling us that. I never knew that. Funny thing is, Glasner now looks like he's power tripping. His next employee will have that in mind during hiring process. The most, for me, the biggest hypocritical part about this whole equation is a month later from now, when Amrim gets sacked and Glasner's the Man United manager, he doesn't give a shit about Palace then. He doesn't give a shit about Guehi then. That's the funny part for me. Palace should have gotten a replacement or got Guehi to sign a new contract a long time ago. It's poor planning from Palace. Everyone wants to focus on Liverpool. Laughable. Yeah, I agree. That's another thing. He told them apparently from the start of the summer, I'm not going to extend. Then and there you go like, okay, let's go get 2 centre backs.
Okay, can I go say that? I know you know Glasner. Like you can tell Glasner's already doing his exit out that door.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, and I hate saying this because I love football and I love the little man sort of, not little man, it sounds just, but you know what I mean? I like the I'll call them the
clubs, basically.
Yeah, the sort of that do it. And I just feel winning an FA Cup was great for Palace. I also think it might be part of the downfall.
Yeah.
Now, what do I mean by that? Because everyone's going to think, oh, they won a cup. That's crazy. With cup and with silverware becomes bigger expectation, bigger responsibilities. And also Glasner goes, I can do this with not a lot of money. I can do this at Palace. Ooh. Because listen, Glasner's end game is not Crystal Palace with respect. It's not. Same with
exactly.
Same with Guehi and etc. Glasner.
And if we want to believe all the journalists, let's believe them all the way throughout. They said he's waiting for the Man United job. So why we lying to you?
Not. I mean, I wouldn't touch United with a barge pole, but I do think there could be 2 jobs on the horizon within the next year that he may look at.
Yeah. Why Husam celebrating Isak when this clearly means Salah's career at Liverpool is finished? Cannot see him playing beyond 2026. Last 4 games, he's awful. New contract only for Saudi cash. Salah, bye. Here's the thing. Salah ain't playing at the level that is expected of him. Isak ain't a Liverpool player. We've conceded 7 goals and we're still top of the league.
That looks like, we wouldn't. I mean, talking about FSG, that would be a typical FSG move.
Yeah, like selling him this summer.
New contract, spend 400 odd mil. Yeah, but we're going to get 200 mil back off Saudi for Salah.
Yeah, they probably will.
I'm not.
I think everyone
you know what I mean when I say that's an FSG move.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about Liverpool.
And if he gets by the way, if he gets half his numbers, just half of them, if he gets like 15 goals, 16 goals, and like 12 assists or whatever, that's still a very good season for a winger. And to be honest, I'm gonna say something honestly. I know all of you guys agree, so I will actually speak for you guys, but you wouldn't have a problem with what I'm gonna say. I think if there is one Liverpool player that actually deserves to be carried for a season, it's him. Like, he actually deserves, just get carried for a year, and it's okay. Like, he's done so much for the club for the last 8 years. Give him a year where he's bad. Who cares? You get me? But I do expect his form will
your most important players, though. And the
say it again, sorry.
If you guys win the league, the person who's going to probably win Player of the Season is Van Dijk.
Oh, I disagree with that.
If you guys win the league, I think that's going to have to be the most important player.
Who?
I know you're going to say Isak. I know you're going to say this guy, that guy. But I do think Van Dijk's going to have to carry.
The thing is, when you go player of the season, 99% of the time, forwards win it. So if Isak scores like 28 goals and we win the league,
Vintage won it twice.
No, he didn't win the PFA one. He won the Premier League one.
Player of the Year for
he won the Premier League one. The one that's voted by the journalists. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Premier League one, the one that's voted by the journalists, not the PFA one. The PFA one, I think
That's
they
what I
gave
was
it.
speaking about. I wasn't speaking about PFA.
Oh, you're talking about the Premier League? Yeah, they might give it to Van Dijk. I don't know, but if we concede like as much as we've been conceding, maybe they don't give it to Van Dijk.
Hey,
So it depends.
depends.
It depends. It'll be interesting anyway. A little history fact: contracts were not invented to protect the workers. It was meant to protect the business interest. True, specifically in football terms, so that they can get transfer value. Martin just touched on it with Salah. You argued last week LFC should pivot away from Isak and Guehi if the deals weren't done by like Friday last week. Why are you not pissed off at Liverpool? Because
Facts.
The more stories you read, the more information you get. You deduce different deductions. You get me? You get different information. You think about things differently. The truth of the matter is, you look at Liverpool Football Club and you know that we did this whole trying to keep a respectful relationship thing. So, yeah. Egal, you don't care about Palace either. You care about how this benefits Arsenal. At least read the reports. Not everything is based on fantasy, is what FK is saying.
Obviously, I don't give a shit about either, but that's why I can look at it and say to myself, hey, Husam is telling one side of the story. And I think there's always two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. And sometimes when we're on these streams, I feel like it's only one side that's being spoken about, especially if we're speaking about Liverpool. Husam, no fault of your own, but you're a Liverpool fan, and you're going to speak about things from your perspective.
Fairs. There's poor people around. We rich, bitch. That's what Drought King is saying, Fairs. Oh, Angry Spice, Isak at the Emirates. You know how the celebration goes. Hey, I can't wait for that right there. Also, thank God we ain't going to St. James's Park. I think they would need armed militia for that game had Isak been playing in a red shirt. That's all I'm saying. Big up, ordered my Isak shirt. My striker is what Andrew's saying. Hey, big up to you, Andrew, man. Liverpool beat Set Piece FC with a set piece. Poetic justice. Egal admitted the tactics was set up for a draw. I think Egal already admitted that by Arteta. It was
no, I think the tactics were right. I think the selection was wrong.
Don't forget the offside goal Liverpool scored, which also shows we were piling on pressure at the time. I agree.
That's bullshit. He's offside. No one remembers offside goals.
No, he's not telling we should remember. He's saying that shows that we were piling on the pressure. You were at home, yet you predicted a win. Odd. He said it on TV too. Egal, your TV star now. Martin, talk the truth. Erling was seriously poor. We're going to touch on it in a bit, Sadaf. Just hold on. Not only Husam felt that, I won when I bet Liverpool going to win after 50th minute. Everyone was seeing that Arsenal has started to lose confidence. Hey, Vassel is a Chelsea fan as well, and you bet on Liverpool to win. Hey, I hear it, brother. I hear it. Winners win. Arsenal and Egal. No, it's not. I'm teaching you for this for the future, Drought. It's not excuse. It's winners win, losers explain. That's the saying right there. You get me? So use it for next time. Egal is as smart as wet rich tea biscuit, is what Iron Swan's saying. You don't have to insult him, bro. You can just disagree. I disagreed with him. There's no need for personal insults. Subscribe to Egal Talks Football. Crystal Palace wanted Guehi to play the two Conference League qualifiers. Reason for failure. Yeah, that's actually another thing I actually didn't bring up. It's because they were playing Fredrikstad in the Conference League qualifiers. Liverpool offered the same money after the Charity Shield. We did, Juan. We did. And that's the thing that I was trying to bring up. Big up to all of you guys locked in. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. I appreciate and love every single one of you guys. We are going to be moving on talking about Manchester City. So please do slap up that like button. Please do subscribe to the channel. And go subscribe to all the guys on the panel. We're closing in on 500 likes. Let's get there. That's the target. We need you guys' help during the international break. And also remember, inshallah, this Friday, we're going to be watching Sweden versus Slovenia together. Let's go. Anyway, talk to me, Martin. You get me? Another loss, 3 points from 9. And you've announced Donnarumma as well. Wait, has there been anything else other than Donnarumma?
Edison left, Akanji left, Gundogan left.
No, I mean incomings. Did you sign anyone?
No.
Donnarumma, right? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Donnarumma has been announced. 3 points from 9. Another loss, 2-1. Talk to me, brother. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Problems. We have many of them. Yeah, I don't. We're 3 games in, and we've hit an injury crisis. Explain that one to me. How do you have 10 players out injured 3 games in? I mean, we were talking about injury crisis last week. Anyone else got 10 injuries 3 games in?
Not yet.
We certainly haven't. I don't know how that's happened.
Yeah.
So, Pep Linders, thank you. Liverpool fans seem to win on that one. It's very confusing. I said last night, I don't know whether I'm watching a Pep Guardiola team or a Pep Linders team at the minute, because I don't recognise anything about Pep Guardiola at the moment. Do I think we'll improve? I think we'll make top 4. At the minute, we're a mess. We're a complete mess. For the first time ever, I do generally have concerns and I worry for Pep Guardiola. moving forward. I just, even I mean, people are having to go at Biana, but I don't blame Biana for this. I think we were suffering from 2 or 3 bad transfer windows where we didn't strengthen. We rested on our laurels. And then what we ended up with, we were in a situation where we had 33 players when Shiki left officially in June. And Biana's, you can't buy anyone at 33. So you buy what you can with the Club World Cup, and then your next job is to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players out the door, which we have done. But the trouble is, you can't bring anybody else in at that point, which is hence why Rodrigo only happens. If Sabinho goes, it became a 1-in, 1-out policy. The trouble is, no one was, but I've started college with a 60-minute team at the minute because we sort of played really well for sort of 50, 55 minutes. And then we just collapsed like an house of cards. Brighton made 4 substitutions on Sunday at once. And our counter to it was Nico Riley, Rico Lewis, and Jeremy Doku. Well, Rico Lewis, Jeremy Doku, and Nico Riley are the answer to a question. What the frig's the question? Is what I want to know. In 2025, 3 games in, we should not be finishing a Premier League game with 4 EDS players on a pitch. That shouldn't be happening. When you are 2-1 down or at 1-1, you should not be finishing the game with 4 youth players sat on a pitch. I looked at my bench on Sunday and I went, what the hell? We've now got 4 goalies. I've got more goalies than I've got right backs. So I've got no right backs. I've got people out on loan here, there, and everywhere. But we just seem to have done a Chelsea model in reverse. I can't make any the tail of this because the only thing I'm hoping for right now is from January, now we've cleared the decks and we've sorted out the stuff, is that from January, Biana sorts this out and we now start making signings that are not so-called project, because I do think we have got some good players. I think we've got a very good squad. My concern are the injuries, who's actually in charge right now, and what's the direction, because the direction looks all over the shop. And the sad thing is, if the first time on Sunday there was long-standing City fans who are normally very calm, it's really starting to question Pep Guardiola by Sunday.
That was my next question.
And I don't think it is fully Pep's fault. I think what we've just realised is this rebuild is not going to take just one window. This rebuild is going to take 2 or 3 windows. I think we'll be back and we'll be challenging again in the next 12, 18 months, yeah. But I just think some are going to have to sit back, enjoy the ride and knuckle down and get used to having a year or 2 of just challenging the top 4, which I think we'll do. I said that I think we'll make top 4 easy. I don't have an issue with that. I have concerns on Rodra and his comments after the game with things I've heard afterwards.
What was his comments?
What was his comments?
He called out. He basically said the players' mentality needs to change and people need to step up. He was quite.
I seen something where he said, "I'm not Messi. You can't expect."
He said, "I'm not Messi. I can't come back and just win all the games on my own."
I kind of hear it a little bit, just because that's the one thing I would say from watching the game specifically against Brighton, where you just look lost on the pitch, especially the second half. I've tuned into the second. I didn't see the first, to be fair.
We looked soft. The first half, we were totally dominant. I didn't see the first half. But Erling Haaland will score you goals, but he needs to get more involved with me. He needs to get more involved.
It's just too easy to get through yous all the time. That's the only thing I'm seeing.
The thing with Haaland that's bugging me, he needs 5 chances to score 1 goal at the minute. If we'd have put our chances away in the first half, we were 4 up. We were clear and gone.
But they made substitutions, Brighton, and yes, they were attacking, and there was just no reply to it. And once they did that, it was just all hell loose. You just couldn't get couldn't get grip of the game, and that's how they evidently got back in the game. They were brave and they just went for it, Brighton, and they.
Well, if
tagged
you
us
look
back.
at it, I mean, this is what worries me. This is my worry. 3 games in. Your lineup is Trafford. Right, so you're 3 games in. You've just bought Trafford. That's going to change to Donnarumma now. I've got Mateus Nunes as right wing back. John Stones, Kushnoff, who's a young lad and ain't no who played injured. That's been confirmed. He played injured. Painkilling injection stuck into him. Rodri's just back. I've got Reinders, who's still, I still think will be a baller. Bernardo Silva. I've got Oscar Bob, Highland, Oman Mamouche. And then my bench is a Kanja. So Akanji was on the bench, even though he was leaving the next day. Ake, Doku, Nico Gonzalez, Ilkay Gundogan, who was leaving the next day. Rico Lewis, Nico Riley, Edison, who was leaving the next day, and Ruben Diaz.
Welcome.
Why have I got 3 players who are out the door and knew they were out the door within 12 hours, sat on the bench at Brighton?
Injuries?
Exactly. How have I hit an injury crisis 3 games in?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have also.
I know why. And this idiot up there knows why. And he's loving it. Because I've got an assistant manager who thinks I've got prize horses around the training ground and flogs them like, what the hell are we doing, sunshine?
It's happened, chat. I warned them and they laughed at me. Someone send me the Hamza clip, please. We got Pep Linders. Someone send it to me. I'm begging you, please send it.
So you're blaming Pep Linders.
Did I not tell them? Chat,
Pep
please
Linders.
just put the number 1 in the chat if you verbatim heard me warn all the City fans about Pep Linders. Just tell me. Did I not warn them? I told them we had our injury crisis season when Pep was in charge. And I feel like the City players are confused because they've got their manager telling them, guys, the most important thing is possession. Let's keep the ball. Let's pass left, pass right. And then they got Pep Linders going like, treadmill, run. So it's just very confusing.
You know
That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't matter if you have injuries or not. Brighton at home had 7 shots on your goal, and they were peppering you to end that game. Man City,
In the last 30 minutes.
Man City at the end of that game looked like they were Brighton. That's how it felt. I felt like you guys were the inferior team the way you guys were playing, and even for that long spell.
With respect to Gal, add the context. The last 30 minutes.
Yeah. I did say that. To be fair, I think you didn't hear me.
He said game. Whatever.
Okay, so you didn't hear me. Sorry, but to specify, I'm specifically speaking about that last part of the game where if anybody just tuned in for like the last 30 minutes, that you wouldn't be able to tell that was Man City because you weren't able to keep possession. They held you in that, and they were just peppering the goal from the penalty onwards. And I was like, Man City don't only have an attacking problem because you're not scoring enough goals to bury these teams. Before, you'd at least score 3-4 goals. You now are struggling to hold on to possession, and the new goalkeeper coming in is probably going to have to be the reason why he's getting Donnarumma is because he doesn't trust your defense, he doesn't trust your midfield, and he knows you're going to be facing so many shots. So he brings in a shot stopper, goes away from his philosophy, and I just think Pep is doing so much things that are unorthodox away from his own philosophy that we might be looking at the back end of Pep. I'm not saying he's finished forever. I'm just simply saying his philosophy in football is to have to have another outfield player as your goalkeeper, and for him to go get Trafford, I think it kind of aligns with that maybe. But then to go get to go get Donnarumma afterwards just tells me
I agree.
He's throwing away all his philosophies from the past and saying Ederson's gone, Donnarumma's coming in. We're gonna face a lot of shots defensively. We're not gonna be good defensively, but we're gonna have to outscore teams. And your attack outside of Erling Haaland, who can you really bank every day is gonna go and deliver something offensively? Who's gonna get you a goal out of nothing?
Marmouche, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, Man City.
I thought Mamouche was very good.
I've seen like calm City fans claiming that like Pep is washed now. That's basically what they're saying. And I'm talking about like the calmer ones. I'm not talking about like
I wouldn't say.
Did Pep ever win a league without being the best, having the best team?
No, we got. Let's not change that.
No, let's be real though. Pep never won. Pep
he
never
won the league with Zinchenko as left back and
Pep never was in
No,
a
Egal,
league.
don't change the narrative.
Pep never was in a league where
Right.
he wasn't never had the best team. He always had the best team. Now that he doesn't have the
He's
best
a
team,
fault. No, Egal, don't do this. Don't.
no,
Don't
but it's
do
true. Pep has
No,
always
it's
been spoiled
not.
with riches at Bayern, at Barca, and now at City. This is the first time where he doesn't have the best team. I don't think he even has.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Please know your facts, because we had no striker for a year and still dominated the league. Egal, we had Zinchenko and Fabian Delph.
Who was the top striker them times?
Egal, stop doing it, because you want to do is now
I'm sorry,
win a little point because this is Pep Guardiola's downfall. If Pep Guardiola walks out of City tomorrow, your board would bend over backwards, lay down a red carpet, sack Arteta, and walk Pep in tomorrow. Do not.
Guess what? He'd probably do better with our squad.
Oh my God.
There's too many defenders, so maybe not.
No, because then his issue is already resolved. He just needs to coach the attacking side. But guess what? My main point is Pep Guardiola in his entire career has always had the best squad in his leagues. Is that a debate?
No, that's not a debate. That's a fair point. Historically,
So now that he doesn't have the best squad in the league, where's the problem solving?
No, I agree in terms of he should solve the problem, and I actually think there is an easy solution to this. Send you get me? Send Pep Plinders his P45. Send Kolo Toure his P45. Get in an assistant that actually aligns with Pep's ideas, which is let's pass the football. If City want to fix this, there is a fix to this. Be more boring. That's it. Very simple. Go back to being boring Manchester City, who passed the ball around 500 million times before scoring a goal. I know that's not going to happen, but here's the thing. The way that you conceded that goal, the openness was unbelievable. Like you were actually so open.
That's where I look the goal.
And that reminds me exactly of the way that we played 2 years ago when it was like Van Dijk versus three attackers.
Sam, I look at the goals. I watch it back. Because when you're there and when you watch it back on TV, you miss things. And let's break down the goals. Brighton were on top in the last 30. Yeah, I granted that, and they probably did deserve it. Yeah. But if Nunes isn't playing netball in the box, they don't get the penalty.
True.
And if John Stones just clears the ball like a normal, calm defender, we don't get pinball. Because look, that wasn't Brighton's great football. That was our error who gave them the opening. It was from their goal kick. Ball comes in. We've all moved over. Ball comes in. Stones goes to clear it. Hits the Brighton player. Ricochets through, and they've got a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't nothing to do with bad defending. The two goals were just comedy errors.
The second one is completely bad defending, though. First one is a mistake. I understand, but the second one, just before the pass was played to Gruda, look at who's actually standing there. Like, look at actually who's standing there. I actually have a picture of it. Let me show it to you so you understand.
No, I'm seeing this picture, and that's where it becomes disingenuous because that's a goal kick.
No. It's a different one. I'll show you right now. Watch this. This is the moment right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the moment the pass was played.
Yes.
No, they're just.
Yes.
But do you know why they're all set up like
I'm talking just structurally. Hear me out. Just
why would they set up like that though?
I understand what you're saying. Just hear me out. I think that was that was Stones and Diaz, right? Structurally, you can't have that much space in behind, even if it's a goal kick or trying to attack or etc. The issue is how much space you left, because you also can't allow Brighton, even from a goal kick, to have two passes and already they're in. That's the problem.
I'm going to be honest. The way I've always I expect my backline to be there in a goal kick. I do.
Yeah, but you play a high offside line anyway, don't you? I think most teams do anyway.
That's the problem. Because it's off the goal kick. And as you know, you watch defend our teams, they either go to the right or they slightly shift to the left or they stay in. And what they all do is because they watch a goalkeeper's goal kick patterns. So if you watch a goal kick, they either go to the right of the pitch, they go to the left. And if you watch the old shift, everyone moves over. And there's a big, huge gap on one side of the pitch somewhere. That was what happened in that moment. Everyone had shifted to the ball. The ball comes, hits Stones. Stones just because the reason Diaz isn't if Stones makes the pass. Diaz.
Do you think Kusanov had a good game, Loki?
Kusanov, I think he was excellent, apart from the silly UFC tackle he did.
I agree.
I don't know what the UFC. I mean, I love that sort of thing.
Do you think he should be the starting centre back going forward? Honestly, I think he should be. So, who's your partnership? If it were up to you, who's your partnership?
Right now, I'll go cushion off Gabardio when he's fit.
Cushion off Gavardio.
Wait, Guardiola's injured as well. When did this happen?
Yeah, we've not had Gabardio since Club World Cup. Oscar Bob, Rain Ain't Nora, Phil Foden, Sabinho, Ryan Cherka, Kushinov, Mateo Kovacic, Josko Gabardio, Nico Riley, Rico Lewis. All out.
Yeah, they got a lot of
I just can't
got a lot of players out, haven't they, really? To be fair.
I can't make that up at that point. It is what it is. You know, I'm not going to bitch more about it.
How many?
We've
Six?
had
How many? Six or
Six
seven?
injuries.
Six.
no.
Foden's
Yeah, Foden's
No,
injured.
Foden played.
No,
Foden was injured.
Foden got injured against Tottenham.
Yeah.
You know that
Didn't he
Van der
play
Ven
against
challenge? You know the Van der Ven challenge he got blocked on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Turned his ankle.
Oh, yeah, he
1,
played
2,
against
3,
Spurs, not against Brighton.
so
Yeah,
1,
my bad.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 injuries.
Fucking hell.
That is
Crazy.
pretty bad. Yeah.
So that's
Even
bad.
as a top six rival, that's bad. Man. That is bad. Losing
Yeah,
10
that's
players.
crazy.
Yeah.
Double-digit injuries to start the season is nuts. That's the Club World Cup, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And by the way, Klopp was right all along. Now people actually listen to the message instead of just saying Klopp is moaning again. Please, I beg you.
We got.
Let me just grab these
yeah.
supers and I'm going to end up on
I'm gonna
Chelsea.
have to go in 2 minutes.
Yeah, see you later.
Just the one that's addressing you, and then khalas, after I know you have to go. Egal started watching football in 2011 when Pep joined Barca in 2009. They didn't have the best squad and were not favorites of the league. Ronaldinho, Deco, and Thuram left Barca for academy players. That one, you're being... Yes, that one, they weren't favorites. I agree.
That was
Yeah.
the Real Madrid Galactico era. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying.
was the Real Madrid time. Yeah. But at the same time, the year after was when Real Madrid didn't have the best. That's we beat Madrid 5-0 in the Champions League that year.
Listen,
Sorry.
I know the game. When Wenger left Arsenal, people stuck the knife in Wenger. When Klopp left Liverpool, some people stuck the knife into Klopp. Same will happen with Pep. You don't criticize mediocrity.
Yeah. You criticize legends because of their expectations.
So yeah, of course, poor Pep will get all this season. Ferguson got it when he left. You know.
You know the funny thing is, you guys call Arteta mediocre, but you criticize him all the time
Yeah, because you defend them all the time.
because he's not mediocre. Clearly,
We will never be up there with them until he wins Saints. So that's for sure.
Yeah, and FA Cup.
he
doesn't
wins
get
one
you.
Premier League. He equals what Conte did in this league.
Well, Conte done it in his first season.
Does that mean he's equal to what? Ranieri did?
What?
Is he better than Ranieri? Ranieri won a league.
Debatable.
Pellegrini won a league. We won a double actually.
Ranieri,
Well,
I think
we can only
Ranieri
talk
has.
when it actually happens.
I'll be honest with you guys. I ain't gonna change my answer. I think Ranieri has the
tell me what
greatest
about that.
individual achievement in history of Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
Ranieri's
What
one
is it?
season, that's the greatest individual achievement
No,
ever.
he nearly done it with Chelsea as well back in the day. Very
That's the
close.
greatest underdog story. That's what it is.
Ever.
Nearly
You
done
can't
it
be
with Chelsea.
favorites for relegation and win the league. That's the equivalent of Burnley winning the league this season. We can't. We ain't just gonna push it to the side and act like he didn't do an elite job. Anyway, I know I've got to go, Egal. So big up to you. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining.
By the way, I think Chelsea had the worst transfer window out of every club.
Wow.
See, so you're just gonna drop a bomb and leave?
Yeah. No, like they did. It's between Chelsea and City out of the big six who had like the most underwhelming transfer window. But Chelsea made a lot of sales, so fair play. But yeah,
The most in history.
What?
The most in history.
Yeah, but you also bought those players for like 400K.
I know my board, and my board won't sit like this forever, mate. So they don't
We
think this
spent
is the end of it.
250 million in January on what? We still don't know. Anyways, I'm leaving on a high. Have a good night.
You're leaving on a high, leaving on a bomba.
I know where he's going. He's off to.
He ran away. He got scared of Chelsea.
He's off
Talk.
to
That's
clean
what
that
it was.
dusty cabinet.
They have FA Cups, man, and community shields. Big up the great ones. James Kirk Milner, legend.
That's the other that pissed me off. Why is a 40-odd-year-old who rejected our contract still dicking around on us?
And he scored the penalty as well. That's fucking hilarious.
That was the scary thing. James Milner looked fitter than some of our players on some. He's an old man.
we doing? I was watching James Milner in 2011.
James Milner looked fitter than some of our players.
I was
That's
watching
hilarious.
James Milner 14 years ago. I shouldn't be watching him in 2025. Dunking on
Cooking
me.
as
He's
well.
40. He's actually
It
40.
was like, do you ever remember Neil Redfern for Barnsley? I'm like, is this, am I ever gone back?
Pep's not the problem. It's Linders. Expect more injuries in December, January. I've seen this movie and read the book Intensity. Effing fraud. Not you. He's saying Linders is a fraud. Please read Intensity.
I don't
Read
get
Intensity is our identity. You will get it.
Yeah. Again, I've got Colo Torre doing the, I don't know what he's doing, some dance on the, he's like, wait, what's the pointing about? What are you pointing at?
He's just doing the Colo Torre song. Colo.
That's what I'm like, is he trying to check?
Yeah.
Sidelines at the minute.
Martin, do you think the right back position brings imbalance? Ooh, good question.
What right back position? We ain't got.
To be fair, Newcastle took the piss with the 80 million price tag. Ain't nobody paying that for Liverpool. Like, let's just be serious. Yeah, that's why you just don't pay what the selling club wants. 2020. Go ahead.
I will just say this right back thing, because I made it. Everyone, did we need one? Yes. The problem is our squad was in such a mess, disarray numbers wise. We didn't have the room to add a right back. We couldn't add a right back because I'm still, like I said, until 7:00 last night, I still had Ilkay Gundogan, Edison, Akanji, and all these players all sat there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it is after the international break. 2021, City off to a slow start. The rest is history. I have one counter argument to that, and then we're just going to move on to Chelsea. Very quick counter argument. And by the way, Jem should be happy that we aren't talking about his club at the start, because that means his club is doing everything under the radar and without any drama. Remember this, chat. I know they see these Chelsea little bastards. They're not going to fool me. I have my eye out on them. Here's my genuine counter argument for that, Farid. I think the league mid-table clubs now are better than they've ever been in the history of the Premier League. So beating Brighton is a problem, beating Bournemouth is a problem, beating these clubs, Crystal Palace, etc. You actually have to be at 100% to beat all these football clubs. And that's the genuine difference between then and I think 4 years ago. But everyone's entitled, of course, to their opinion. Anyway, just quickly on the whole Chelsea situation. Like and subscribe, chat. I don't even know how many likes we're on, but it's not enough. So close the live chat and hit the like button. Let's go. So, Chelsea beat Fulham. You get me? Garnacho announced as well.
Yes.
You get me? So
yeah.
How do you feel about Chelsea now heading into the season? The transfer window's over. What's your thoughts?
I think from a transfer side of things, incomings, I'd probably say between a 5 and a 6 out of 10. I think we could have done a little bit better at the end of the window with some of the signings like Xavi Simons. We were linked to Fermin. I think we could have done a little bit more there in quality, because we do need that in the 10s. We end up going for Brighton's Facundo, I'm not even going to say his last name, and brought him on a loan. I don't know what to expect. I've not watched enough of him. I don't like dumping on players that I've not seen, but when you look at the stats and he's played 35 games and only 5 goals and 1 assist, I don't really know what to expect, to be quite honest with you. Outgoings, I think we've done very well. We've literally demolished all of the players we didn't need, barring Sterling and the Sassy, I would say. And obviously the Tyreek George thing fell through last minute again. We had a £22 million agreement with Fulham, and it fell through because Harry Wilson's move to Leeds fell through. So he ended up going back to Fulham, which means they pulled out last minute. So we got left with Tyreek George. Look, over £300 million worth of outgoings. I think we've done a good job on that. I mean, some people will say, well, it's players that Chelsea shouldn't have signed in the first place. You're 100% right. We shouldn't have had some of these players here. We stockpiled. However, it did allow us to build up some sort of revenue. We did also have, and I don't know if you guys are aware, we had the UEFA regulations, like the tight hold on our neck as well for the first season as well, because
the fines and everything.
The fines and everything. So basically, to cut a long story short, we had an allowance of we couldn't go over 20 million euros. So our books had to be completely balanced when it comes to incomings and outgoings for us to be able to register first team players in the Champions League. So any players that come through the door, and the only way we could do that is by getting rid of players that were in is that Caicedo as his picture? players that are in the list A of last season 24, which was obviously the Conference League team, and that was Jackson and and Nkunku and some other people, which we've already done. I think getting nearly £70 million next year from Bayern Munich, potentially on Jackson, is ridiculous. They're giving us a £60.5 million fee up front for this year, and then next year, providing he hits a certain amount of appearances, then there's an obligation to buy the guy for another £53 million as well. So I think we've done well with that in many ways. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think the quality's there, the overall quality's there of the team. My only question is just like the marquee signings again. Like, we've missed out on Rafinha, Elise, Xavi Simons, all these type of players. We don't seem to manage to get these level raisers that we need, But selling Jackson for 70 million next year is ridiculous if it all goes to plan with Bayern Munich. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, in terms of on the pitch, I was there. I was at the bridge. I was at the game with Con. It was an awful first half. Our football was slow again, boring. I thought the way Fulham came out and played, dominated the position, dominated on the ball, attacked well, attacked in good spaces. We had individual stinkers in the first half in the likes of Chalobah had a bit of a moment. Enzo Fernandez was getting pretty much booed at one point. We just wasn't up to the levels. We just wasn't at it. The second half came and it was a completely different story. I don't know what happened in the second half. I remember João Pedro scoring João Pedro again from the corner. What a header, by the way. That cross from Enzo Fernandez was right on point for him to put it in the back in net. But then Enzo Fernandez was shouting at the bench at his fitness coach. Don't know what was going on there, and he was like ripping his armband off his arm. He was really angry. But the second half came and we came. Out.
Did you lag out? Just me.
Did I lag out?
Yes.
Am I still here?
Back now. Yes, you're here.
You went on Bobby Davro then.
I don't know what happened there. It just disappeared on my screen.
I won't understand what Bobby Davro is, just looking up from the 80s.
But yeah, the second half we dominated. We got the penalty that people would say maybe a little bit harsh. I think it was a penalty. Puts his arm, in my opinion. And we got for me, it's just about getting the points. And that's 7 points out of 3 games for Chelsea, and we're sitting second behind Liverpool on the same points as Arsenal. So, not bad. People want to talk about the penalty. I mean, not the goal, the disallowed goal for Fulham, where he's gone to do a dribble. He's gone to do a sort of, if it looked like a Cruyff turn on the ball as the ball's come into him,
like a skill move, basically.
Yeah, a skill move, and they've disallowed the goal because of the foul on Chalobah, but. And I just, and this is what I don't like about pundits. They're trying to treat it as if it's the worst decision in VAR history. Don't give it a break, man. The problem isn't about whether it was or wasn't. The issue is all the time for me is the incompetence from VAR, because the same thing happened again later on in another game and the opposite decision was given. Do you get what I mean? It's the inconsistency that they will do in games where some people may think that wasn't a foul in Chalobah. They obviously did at the time. Do you know what I mean? And for me, my opinion on that, if you're going to execute a dribble where you don't execute it and then you stamp on a player's ankle when you're turning, it's a foul. Like for me, it's a foul. So
yeah. No, here's the thing. Look, if you're a Fulham fan, you're fuming. But if I'm going to be honest about this, look, on paper, it's a foul. Like if you play, like everyone who played football before knows that that's not a foul. You get me? We understand why people are upset that it was given. Completely get it. I promise you, everyone gets it. All I'm saying is, on paper, you can't, as you're doing a skill move, step on someone's thingy. Like that's it. That's my very basic logic for this conversation. Like I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, like, I get why. If I'm a Fulham fan, I'm fuming. If I'm a Fulham fan, I'm fuming. I'm upset. I'm mad.
Of course you are.
But on paper, via the rule book, it's a foul. You get what I'm saying? Like that's my thing for me. On paper,
the rule book. You can't go the rule. If that was against your lot or my lot, we're fuming, and
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. If I'm a Fulham fan, I'm fuming. But via the rule book, what can I do? You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's not because I believe it's a foul. I don't think it's a foul.
For anything that goes by the rule book, but common sense is out the door.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what
I'm saying. I don't really care.
I'm a Fulham fan. I'm angry as shit. But what can I do? Like,
no, but you see, when you say by the rule book, you sort of like saying, but it was kind of right though.
Yeah, like Loki.
Well.
If I was the referee, would I have given it? No, but when he did the skill move, he stepped on the guy. But anyway,
think-
Chelsea are the type of club that's sly. So they're going
That's what I was
under
about
the
to say,
radar.
we're moving in silence.
Yeah, they're going under the
Yeah.
radar, but they're not going under my radar. You get me? Because I'm awake and I'm aware of this Chelsea.
Oh,
thing.
hang on. So you're the leopard in the tree. Which one's the leopard in the tree here?
No, we're no longer
I'm telling
leopards.
you,
Now
my
we're
lot-
tigers, maybe.
I
No,
like the
now we're
falling
tigers.
elephant out the tree.
We're
now.
tigers.
Forget
Oh,
the-
you're definitely an elephant on the tree.
Forget the
You're
leopard.
Definitely on the tree. Bayern won't pay the clause, Coutinho. James, prove it.
Bayern won't pay the clause. Coutinho. What do you mean?
Yeah, Coutinho. Oh, yeah, they didn't pay the Coutinho clause. That's true.
No, they didn't. But
Barcelona, you mean?
he's talking.
Oh,
about-
it means the Jackson.
Yeah.
No, well,
yeah.
listen,
Imagine the emotions he's been through though over the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
He lands in Munich, it's on. Delap's injured, get back. And then he's like, yeah. And then what was he? I mean, are you that desperate for an extra 5 million on top of the loan fee or whatever it was to
the overall loan the overall loans setup was different because the original time it was a loan with an option. This time it's a loan that hit an obligation. So basically, he just has to have a number of appearances.
No. It was the weird bit of
Yeah.
all clubs. It's not a dig of all clubs to say we have an injury, come back, we need you. Is not Chelsea. You have like 55 players. You don't need to bring someone back from a sort of
Yeah. Do you know what the issue with Jackson was? Was just from the UEFA side of things. People were always saying, why ain't Chelsea spending 50, 60 million Simmons? And by the way, I wanted it again.
This show's all by me now. Husam's on the phone to somebody else.
Have I cut off?
Internet's crashing.
What's going on here?
So, welcome to Red Pill, Blue Pill, everyone. Welcome to a better host and a better channel.
Sorry,
He's on the
guys.
phone.
It was my mom. You know, moms take precedence above everything. Big up to you, Farid.
know,
Anyways, we're gonna wrap up
family.
the stream here. We're gonna wrap up the stream
Yeah.
here. I appreciate you guys, all of you guys. Make sure, guys, go check out Kings of the Bridge. Subscribe to Martin's channel and subscribe to Egal Talks
I
Football.
will be on
He's
time
live-
next week. My apologies.
It's okay. It's okay. He's live with Potsy as well. And subscribe to this channel too. You get me? Let's go. Big up to all of you guys. I'm gonna see you guys back.
Good
There's a Liverpool emergency podcast at 9 p.m. So I'm gonna see you guys over there. And yeah,
So you can have a party.
emergency podcast. Emergency.